entrepreneurs say what they dreamt of initially in the course of the journey, if they knew this is what they were going to experience, they might not even have started, right? But they will not change it for the world. Hi, welcome back to the Tribe Clan. I have a video for you today. If you're new to this channel, my name is Judith and I'm an improvement and well-being coach. I work with people to improve the quality of their lives with a focus on personal and professional improvement as well as overall well-being. So if you would like a personalized support, you can book a coaching call with me using the information in the description below. So let's get into the video. I recently read the book, The Neuroscience of Discipline. At the beginning of the year, I chose that to be the first book to read. What I've come to find out is that discipline is actually very essential. From this book, The Neuroscience of Discipline by Ray Clare, I learned a lot of things. Of these things, there was a portion of the book where he listed the characteristics of self-disciplined achievers, and that's what I'm going to share with us today, so we can learn from it, because understanding what the characteristic of what we would like to emulate would definitely help us in how to achieve it. The first one he identified was a strong, well-defined sense of purpose. This is very, very true and very interesting as well, because obviously for your overall well-being, purpose is actually very essential. This is where your values come. This is where your actions now have meaning. You are doing things with meaning. You are not just engaging in different actions because it's taking you to some goal or because your work says you should. No, you are more detailed in what it is you are involved in. You are more purposeful in your choices. You need to know what you are driving towards. You need to be clear on what your dreams are, what your goals are, what your values are. What's the most important to you? What's going to make the most impact in your life and in the life of those around you? You can't simply take action on things you do not understand. You can't simply take action and hoping for things to click at some point. In this instance, you are more detailed, you are more focused, you are more purposeful. You have a clear sense of direction. The next thing that was mentioned in the book was they seek out positive role models for inspiration and learning. I'm pretty sure we've all heard how it's very important to have people around you that inspire you. You know, be it your connections, be it your friends, be it your mentors, having people around you that are positively impacting you. So look out around you, look at your environment. Do I have people that are positively impacting me? Do I have people I'll call my positive role models? If I don't have that, then maybe that's something I need to actually work towards including into my life right now. And for me, these role models could be people that mentor you both in person and also by you engaging in what they produce. We know that we might not be able to access some of these people. Maybe you want to access a Warren Buffett, for example, or Mark Zuckerberg, for example, and you might not be able to access them very easily, depending. I mean, of course, some people have access, of course. But if you do not have access, you can actually check out if they've written books that you can learn from. That way, you're able to see what their mindset was at a certain time. You're able to peek into their process, into their thought process. Because I personally enjoy reading books of high achievers. I enjoy reading autobiography, listening to audiobooks, listening to podcasts that deal in autobiographies. And it's very, very interesting for me because I learn a lot actually seeing how their early life were. I might not have direct access to these people, but I do have access to some of the things they have produced that can bring me the inspiration and learning that I want. Another characteristics of self-disciplined achievers is they use sensory-rich visions and a vivid imagination to set the stage for their own achievements. Sensory-rich visions and vivid imaginations. What does this remind you of? Visualization. You need to have a visual representation of your dreams. There are two things mentioned here. We have sensory-rich visions and a vivid imagination to set the stage for their own achievements. So the achievements, they've already stated out their goals. They already know what it is they want to achieve. They're now going to their mind to imagine themselves already having those things they dream of. So you imagine yourself in that state that you want for yourself. Okay, I want this for myself in a year time. I want this for myself in 5 years time. What type of life would I be living at that time? What would my routine look like? What would the kind of people I would have around me be like? So what would the characteristics of the kind of friends I'll have, the kind of work colleagues I would have? What would that look like? Right? So you already have a visual representation. What would my bank account possibly look like? What would my mental well-being look like? What would I be doing on a day-to-day basis? Rather than it just simply being in your mind, you want this goal, but the goal doesn't feel one with you. It almost feels very separate because you've not imagined yourself in that goal. Think of it as a motivating factor for you to push forward, because for self-disciplined achievers, they need to have visualized, they need to have had somewhat of a simulatory experience of what it would look like for them to have achieved their goals. That will even trigger them to be more committed to the process of achieving those goals. Seeing that sensory-rich visions and vivid imagination would definitely help in being more disciplined. So if that's something you've not engaged in so far, think about setting out time to visualize yourself in what you dream of. See yourself engaging in those settings and excelling. Just imagine yourself. It could be the outfit you're wearing. It could be the way you speak. It could be the courage you have. It could be the confidence that you're exuding. Whatsoever it is that you dream of, imagine yourself in that setting. Because then it now comes to, how do I then act in the present to align with this identity now that I have imagined vividly. The next characteristics of self-disciplined achievers from the book is they have a positive sensory orientation. They expect to succeed instead of fail. So when they are doing something, they don't already have in their mind that, oh, what if I fail? Because yes, you know that when you try different things, the chances of failure is there, and it's normal. But they don't care about that because they know they are striving towards success, and that's all they are focused on. Okay, I failed this. All right, so what can I get out of this? What information can I gather from this? Because I'm getting feedback from this failure right now. Because success is exactly what I'm focused on. Success is what I'm aiming for, and that's all I care about. They have a positive sensory orientation. They expect to succeed instead of fail. So imagine you already have this expectation of success. Now you know you want certain things. You've listed exactly what you want. You know how you want to achieve it. You're not dwelling in self-doubt, limitations, engaging in limiting beliefs. No, you already have this strength in your thought process that I want to achieve this. I need to perform this excellently. You will do and put in your best to make sure you perform to the best of your ability. When you already have a high expectation for yourself regarding success, it's very easy for you to put in your best. That way, you can actually judge the results based on the effort you already put in. Sometimes we put in half-assed effort and expect the best results in return. That's not how it works. And then sometimes some people, through limiting beliefs, will put in just mega effort and expect to get something good out of it. But they don't expect the best, neither do they expect mediocrity. But they just have this way of, whatever comes out of it, I hope it's going to be the best. And they are hoping for something to come out very well. As opposed to someone who expects excellence, works on excellence, makes sure their efforts are excellent, and they are able to get success out of it. So if you want to be a self-disciplined achiever, you need to have positive sensory orientation. You need to expect success instead of failure. The next characteristics that was identified was they have a deep-rooted belief in their ability to achieve. They are immeasurably self-assured. So this is similar to the first one, but this one is actually talking more about that sense of belief they have in themselves. So rather than people having imposter syndrome, self-doubt, disbelief, limiting beliefs, self-disciplined achievers actually have a strong sense of belief in themselves. It's very interesting because there was a podcast I listened to by Stephen Bartlett, and this one was him talking alone without having a guest. And he talked about how a strong sense of self-belief was very, very important for him in his journey to success. It's not very easy to have this self-belief or this self-assurance. What tends to trigger this is some level of confidence. And for confidence to be built to the level of self-belief and self-assurance, you must know for yourself that you are competent. Because we all know we cannot deceive ourselves. You might be able to deceive somebody else. You might be able to make someone else believe that you are the best at something. But deep down, you know, did you practice? Deep down, you know if you studied hard. Deep down, you know if you put in that work. Deep down, you know if you've improved over the past 6 months, over the past 3 months, over the past year. You are the only one that knows how far you've grown, right? You can't deceive yourself. For you to have that self-assurance, self-confidence in your skill sets, you must be competent. You can't deceive yourself. Yes. So to build that confidence, build your competence. So it's very important for a self-disciplined achiever to have a strong sense of self-belief. But we also know that to have this strong sense of self-belief, you need to have what? Competence in whatsoever field it is you are. You need to have competence to build the confidence and then the self-belief, the self-assurance. The next characteristic that was noted from this book was they have the ability to plan and organize. They can break down what they want to achieve into manageable steps and set priorities that let them accomplish the most important task first. This is talking about what? Breaking things down, being organized, and prioritizing. You can't be all over the place and expect to be the best. No. You cannot have a million things you want to get done, not have a priority, and expect to be excellent. No. If you have 20 things you want to do, break it down to the most important 5. Of the most important 5, what are the most important 3 that will make the most positive impact in my life currently? So understand how to organize first, and then when you organize, understand in what order of priority am I going to attack these things. I have 10 things I want to get done. Now, of these 10 things that I have in front of me, which is the most important? That's what you need to prioritize, essentially. For self-disciplined achievers, they know how to organize the tasks that are in line with their goals and then how to prioritize the tasks appropriately. So think about it. If you're not currently organizing, if you're not currently prioritizing, it's something you need to do to improve yourself and become a self-disciplined achiever. The next thing is they know how and when to acquire essential knowledge and skills. They are not intimidated by the thought of having to learn something new. This is basically a growth mindset. There are usually two types of reaction to a challenge. Some people want to shy away from the challenge, run, hide, avoid, while some other people will want to face it head on. What this is trying to tell you is that for a self-disciplined achiever, they will face it head on. They are not intimidated by having to learn something new. They are not intimidated about being a beginner at something. Because for someone with a fixed mindset, they already have the idea that it's innate in me. So they would not want to challenge themselves to start something new and start at a level of incompetence and then build themselves to competence. However, for someone with a growth mindset and also someone who is a self-disciplined achiever, has no problem with starting something new, being incompetent at first, because we all know we are not masters in the beginning. No, we need time, we need effort. When you put in the time and the effort, then you become skilled, right? So they don't avoid learning new skills. They know that acquiring essential knowledge and skills is very, very important. So they are always open to learning something new and they are not intimidated by it. So if currently you are intimidated by learning something new, if currently you are intimidated by being a beginner in something you know you should be learning, think twice. Think about this again, because this might be what's holding you back from being a self-disciplined achiever. The next one, they have patience. The passing of time doesn't bother them. They'll keep working towards their goals for as long as it takes. How many of us can say we have patience? How many of us can say we have 10-year goals instead of 6 months goals? How many of us can say that? Yeah. These people are playing the long game. And people who play the long game stay for the long time. If you play the short game without iterating to the long term, it might take you nowhere in the long run. So now we're saying that to actually be disciplined, you must have patience. You can see all these skills, they actually stack up on themselves. Patience is very, very important for you to be disciplined. They are not looking to get rich quick. They are not looking to achieve things so swiftly. They are not looking to cut corners to get things done, because they know that some things actually require their time, require their effort, require them putting in the work for a period of time. And they're okay with that. So if you want to be a self-disciplined achiever, you need to imbibe and build patience. Start building that patience muscle. If you don't have it, start building it. So what? We don't get bothered by the passing of time. It doesn't bother us anymore once we become self-disciplined achievers. So look at it. What part of your life currently does not align with this? Then you need to start tweaking things. It might not be working right now, but it can be improved upon. Okay. Patience is something that is not very easy for a lot of us. That's something I understand fully, right? But we need to start practicing it. So a simple way to start practicing it is what? Draw up a longer term plan, so that when you are even breaking it down to your 3 months, your 6 months, your 12 months, right? You have the 10-year overview. You have the 5-year look. You understand exactly what you are working towards, so that you know that, okay, the things I'm doing right now, they are the building blocks for those things that need to be in place at that time, right? Rather than you simply just tweaking things. 6 months, okay, I have this new goal. Next 6 months, I have this new goal. But it doesn't work with purpose. It doesn't work with alignment. And you remember the first characteristic we talked about again. We said what? They have a strong, well-defined sense of purpose. So you can see how purpose and patience are coming together here. Because once you have that sense of purpose, you can be patient, because you understand that it's a long-term game and I'm playing this long-term game. So I don't have any reason to rush. I'm doing everything systematically. So I'm there, gaining, winning along the way. The next one is they persevere. They are stubborn and they don't give up even when the going gets rough. Perseverance. This is another skill. So we talked about patience, we talked about purpose, your sense of purpose. We talk about what? Perseverance. You need to persevere, because the ups and downs will definitely be there in the journey, right? There will be challenges. There are things you might never anticipate. It's very interesting how entrepreneurs say what they dreamt of initially in the course of the journey. If they knew this is what they were going to experience, they might not even have started, right? But they will not change it for the world. Think about that. That's for people who persevered and won. They'll tell you they won't change it for the world. So what? Sticking to it is going to pay you in the long term. But we need to first what? Have a sense of purpose and direction. When you have a sense of purpose, you have a sense of direction, you are able to be patient, you are able to persevere. So you can see for self-disciplined achievers, they are able to persevere, they are able to be patient. So look at yourself. Are there times in your life where when you get to the challenging point, you just stop, you change course, you want to try a new strategy, you want to change the direction? That makes you move aimlessly. It means you don't have that clear sense of direction. It means you don't have that clear sense of purpose, and you lack patience and perseverance. So look at all these things. Do you lack any of these characteristics I've mentioned so far? If you do, that's something to now work on. This is clearly an insight to help you work on it. And you can also read the book, The Neuroscience of Discipline by Ray Clare. Beautiful, beautiful book. The last characteristic, they view work as pleasure, because work is bringing them closer and closer to the goal that will be their final reward. So they view work as pleasure because they know it's a long-term game. Since you know this is something you're going to do for a long time, right? You are here through the ups, through the downs. You are ready to be patient, right? You have your purpose. You are walking in direction. You are walking in alignment with your values, right? Understanding all of these things, you have to then what? Make your work pleasurable for yourself. You can't simply do something that you know in 6 months you are done with it. In 6 months you are fed up. Reevaluate, because it might not be the actual thing you need to be doing. Look through it and see, can I really do this thing for the long term? If you can't really do it for the long term, then it might not be that pleasurable, right? And I'm not saying all work should be pleasurable, but you need to find some joy in the work that you are doing. Yes, it will have the tough times, but that is exactly when that intrinsic value, that intrinsic joy will keep you going. So you need to have something that actually gives you the intrinsic value. You can't simply pick something and just decide to go head on without having a clear sense of direction. It's not going to take you very far, is it? No. So let's be very, very clear on what it is that we want for ourselves. These are the characteristics of self-disciplined achievers from the book, The Neuroscience of Discipline by Ray Clare. Now, I'll link it in the description box. You can obviously get it. It will be very, very helpful for you to have that clarity in your personal and professional improvement and overall well-being journey. So that'll be all for this video today. See you in the next video, and always remember to thrive in every aspect of your life. Bye.